Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you, sir?
Okay. I'm also doing good, thank you. Oh, just wait for 2 more minutes. We will be continuing.
Suddenly, like, I was facing the wall. Okay, I was facing the wall, and then suddenly I heard a bed sheet. I was like, "Oh my God."
Someone was telling a horror story. Okay, let me just confirm whether uh, one more student we have now. Let me confirm whether she is joining or not. All right, everyone. So, Sania, Aman, and Mariam. Okay, so in the last session, we were talking about the reconstitution of the partnership, and while discussing reconstitution of partnership, we have already understood and covered the meaning of the partnership, meaning of the reconstitution, and what situation, what are the factors that lead to the reconstitution of the partnership. Then, while discussing the various modes of reconstitution, I've told you that reconstitution may take place due to the change in the PSR, due to the admission of a partner, retirement of a partner, or due to death of the partner. And currently, we are just discussing the reconstitution that arises on account of change in PSR. So, while discussing this point, the first mode, the first factor that lead to the uh, reconstitution, I've told you that whenever reconstitution takes place on account of the change in PSR, we need to make 4 different adjustment, right? Like first of all, we need to cover the adjustment regarding the calculation of the sacrificing and the gaining share of the partner. That I guess we have already completed. So we have covered this part. Then we have started this, we started discussing the treatment of the accumulated profit and reserve. And I guess we have already also covered how to deal with the different types of accumulated profit and reserves. Like I guess we have completed the treatment of the workman compensation reserve in the last session. Have we completed workman compensation reserve, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we covered all the cases now. If there is no
Yes, sir.
information given in the question, if there is claim less than, more than, or equal to the amount of the reserve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means we need to start the one more topic. Okay. We need to start the investment fluctuation reserve. Okay. So I want everyone to put this heading on your notebooks. Investment fluctuation reserve. We will be talking about this. And let me explain the concept of the investment fluctuation reserve through an example. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about the value of the investment. What is actually investment? So investment is kind of asset for the business. Sorry, investment is asset, right? So whenever we make investment in a particular security or anything, that is an asset for the business. Let's suppose the amount of investment that we have made in a particular share or security or any other thing. Let's suppose the value of the investment on the date of investment was 5 lakh. The day on which we have made the investment in a particular asset, particular security or anything, on such date, let's suppose, let's presume that we have made the investment on a particular asset on 1st of January 2022. Okay, so on the date on which we have made the investment, the value of the investment was 5 lakh. Now tell me, over the period of time, do you believe that the value of the investment may fluctuate? It may fluctuate, and this lead to the increase or the decrease in the value of the investment. Is it possible that the value of the investment may rise or decrease over the period of time? Let's suppose for the time being that we are evaluating the value of the investment as of 24th of July. So since 1st of January till the month of July, almost 7 months have completed. So after the completion of the 7 months, is it possible that the value of the investment may change in the market? The market value of the investment, maybe there are I guess there are 3 possible situations. There is a situation that the value of the investment remains same. It does not change at all, right? The value of the investment remain same. The investment remain same. So that means the value of the investment, which was 5 lakh, which was of 5 lakh on 1st of January, it is still 5 lakh as on 24th of July, right? This is one possibility. Second possibility could be that the value of the investment, instead of remaining same, it rises, it increased, the value of investment increased to rupees 5,80,000. Is it possible? Yes or no? Is it possible that the value of the investment rises? Yes. Over the period of time, the value of the investment may also increase. And there is a possible situation that the value of investment, instead of increasing, it may also decrease over the period of time. So the value of which was 5 lakh on the date of 1st of January 2022, now only its value is only rupees 3,50,000 after the completion of 7 months. So that means, due to the market fluctuation, the value of the investment may increase or decrease. It may also remain same. If it remains same, it is not a problem. If the market value of the investment remains same, it is not at all a problem, obviously. But if the market value of the investment declines, it is a problem. If the market value of the investment decline, how it is a problem? Because if the market value of the investment is declining, it is indicating a situation of loss. And if the market value of the investment is increasing, it is still not a situation of problem, because since the value of the investment is rising, that means this is indicating a situation of gain. This is obviously a favorable situation for the business, right? Now if the value of the investment declines from 5 lakh to 3,50,000, it is a problematic situation. And why it is problematic? Because it is a situation wherein a firm is going to incur a loss of 1,50,000, right? There is a loss of 1,50,000. So therefore, we are considering it a situation of problem, because firm is going to bear a extra loss of 1,50,000. Now, what firms usually do? Firms sometimes anticipate loss in advance. Firm have, on the date of investment, already anticipated that there may be changes, there may be fluctuation in the market over the period of time. Partners have already anticipated fluctuation, and they have already anticipated that the value of the investment may decline up to rupees 3 lakh. The value of the investment may decline up to rupees 3 lakh. They have already anticipated this. So by the moment they have anticipated that the value of the investment may fluctuate in the market in future as well, at the same time they have made a reserve in advance. They have made a reserve which is called investment fluctuation reserve, which is in short we can call it IFR, investment fluctuation reserve. Sir, what is investment fluctuation reserve? Investment fluctuation reserve is a reserve which is created out of profit, just like the workman compensation reserve, right? The purpose of workman compensation reserve is to compensate the workers wherever they have met any injury or accident during the performance of its duty in the workplace. Similarly, investment fluctuation reserve is also a reserve which is made out of profit. The purpose of this reserve is to compensate the loss that have occurred on account of fluctuation in the market value of the investment. Let's suppose partners have already anticipated that the value of the investment may decline in future, and in advance they have made a reserve of rupees 2 lakh. Got it? They have already made a reserve out of profit. They have allocated a part of profit for the investment fluctuation reserve, and the value was 2 lakh. That means they were already expecting that the investment may decline by rupees 2 lakh. That means it may decline up to 3 lakh. So they have already made a reserve in advance of the amount of 2 lakh. Now, since we have a loss of 1,50,000, now tell me whether we will be able to compensate this loss, whether we have the sufficient amount of profit available, whether we have the sufficient amount of reserve available with us to compensate this much of loss, yes or no? Whether we will be able to compensate this loss, yes or no? Tell me, everyone. If anybody is not able to understand anything, please let me know, so that I can explain the entire thing again. Halima, Aman, Sania. Understood or not?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Aman, please confirm whether you got this point or not.
Sir, can you explain this once again, the IFR part?
Okay. And Halima, you want me to explain it again?
Yes, sir. Explain again.
Okay, no problem. All right, see. So what I'm saying is that see, just tell me on what date we have made the investment. We have made the investment on 1st of January, right? And the date on which we have made the investment, the value of the investment was 5 lakh. But tell me whether the value of the investment may also change over the period of time. Yes, market value of the investment may change. Market value of the investment may change. Market value of the investment. Why do the market value of the investment changes? Because of the fluctuation taking place in the market. Fluctuations taking place in the market. Due to the fluctuation, taking place in the market, the value of the investment, let's suppose, it may also increase. Let's suppose it increases by 1,50,000. That means it rises to 6,50,000, and it may also decline. Let's suppose it declined to 5,30,000. Sorry, 4,30,000. Got it? So if there is a profit, it is obviously not a situation of problem. Partners will be very happy since there is a profit of 65,000. The value of the investment rises by 65,000. Sorry, 1,50,000. There is a profit of 1,50,000. It is a profit. And who is going to share this profit? Who is going to receive this much of profit that have arises, that have the value of investment have increases by 1,50,000? So who is going to get 1,50,000? Obviously, the partners is going to get extra 1,50,000. Whatever the rise in the investment have taken place, this entire increase belongs to the partners. They will be sharing this amount of profit among themselves in the old profit sharing ratio. Got it? Is this clear or not? When there is a profit, this profit will be distributed among the partners. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what will happen when there is a loss? What will happen if there is a loss in the value of the investment due to the market fluctuation? So like the value of the investment, which was earlier as on 1st of January, it was of 5 lakh. But over the period of time, the value of the investment declined to 4,30,000 only. So that means there is a loss of how much? What is the value of the loss? Loss is of rupees 70,000. Is that correct, everyone? Loss is for rupees
Yes.
70,000. Now, who is going to bear this loss? Obviously, the partners. Now, what partners sometimes do now? Sometimes partner anticipate that there will be a possibility of loss in the value of the investment. They anticipate this loss in advance, and by anticipating the loss, they made a investment fluctuation reserve in advance. They make a investment fluctuation reserve in advance. Investment fluctuation. So what is the purpose of making this reserve? The purpose of making this reserve is to compensate any loss arising on account of fluctuation in the market value of the investment. If the value of the investment is declining due to the fluctuation taking place in the value of the investment, then such loss can be compensated out of the value of the reserve that partners have already made. So let's suppose partners have made a reserve of rupees, let's suppose 1 lakh. Tell me, everyone, is this clear? Investment fluctuation reserve is of rupees 1 lakh.
Yes.
So tell me, if we have a loss of 70,000 due to fluctuation in the market price, whether we will be able to compensate this loss out of the reserve that we have already made, yes or no? Do we have sufficient amount of fund available to compensate this amount of loss?
No, sir.
No, we don't have the amount of reserve available. We have the reserve.
Yes.
Now we have made a reserve of rupees 1 lakh and the loss is of rupees 70,000 only. So whether we will be able to compensate this loss out of the reserve, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, since we have already anticipated and we were already prepared that there may be a situation that lead to the reduction in the value of the investment, and by anticipating that we have already made the reserve, investment fluctuation reserve, in advance. So this loss can be covered through the reserve that we have already made, right? But to what extent the reserve need to be transferred, I mean it need to be adjusted toward the reduction in the value of the reserve to the extent of 70,000 only, na? Since we have a loss of only 70,000, so out of 1 lakh we will be allocating 70,000 toward the loss of the value of the investment. Now tell me, what are we going to do with the remaining 30,000 of reserve? Since we have
Share it
made
as
a sorry
share it among the partners.
correct, share it among the partners. In what ratio? Share in among the partners in what ratio?
Old
In the
ratio.
old profit. Correct, old PSR, old profit share ratio. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Halima, is this clear to you as well? Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. So I'm moving to the general entry part. Let me explain. See, first of all, let me give you a quick example. Let's suppose the book value of the investment is book value of the investment is rupees 6 lakhs. Okay, and the reserve that we have made investment fluctuation reserve that we have made is for rupees, let's suppose it is of rupees 2 lakhs. All right. And old profit sharing of the partner, old PSR, old profit sharing ratio of partner is, let's suppose they are equal partners. So 1:1. Name of the partners were A and B, for example. And they were sharing the profit ratio in the ratio of 1:1. Okay. Now we have different situations given. So case first that is given in the question is, case one is, situation number one is, situation one is telling us to assume that the market value of the investment, market value, MV stand for market value of the investment, market value of the investment is currently it is of rupees 6 lakh. Okay, do you understand that the book value of the investment is how much? 6 lakhs, and the market value of the investment is also 6 lakhs. So that means there is neither profit nor loss in the value of the investment. So tell me how much of this reserve is going to be used for the adjustment, for the you can say for the adjustment of the profit or loss. How
The
much
full
are we
amount.
going to use? Nothing is going to be used for the adjustment of the profit or loss, since there is no profit, no loss. So that means the entire amount of profit will be distributed among the partners, right? Now the question arises, how do we distribute this among the partner? How are we going to, what general entry that we will be doing to distribute it among the partner? So let me show you. The general entry in this case will be, since the entire reserve will remain unused and it is not uh, used toward the adjustment of the profit or loss. So this simply means that the entire reserve will be distributed among the partner in the old PSR. So for distributing the general the investment fluctuation reserve among the partner, the general entry is, investment fluctuation reserve account will be debited. Investment, pay attention everyone, this is very important. Investment fluctuation reserve account will be debited by what amount? By what amount? The entire 2 lakh will be debited to investment fluctuation reserve, and we will be distributing it to the partners. Entire amount of reserve will be distributed among partners. So we'll write down to A's capital account will be debited. Sorry, it will be credited by A's capital account will be credited. Number one. Number two, B's capital account will also be credited. B's capital account will be credited. This will be the general entry for this situation. Now, since both are the equal partners, so that means A will be getting 1 lakh and B will be also getting 1. Is it clear, everyone? Is this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is situation number one, when nothing is to be allocated toward the loss or the profit of the investment. So I'll write down the narration as being IFR, investment fluctuation reserve, distributed distributed among partners in old profit sharing. Okay, this was case one, situation A. Now let's talk about situation number two. So what if the value of the investment actually declines? Let's suppose case number two, case B, the value of the investment this time declines. Market value of investment. Market value of investment declines. Declines to what amount? Market value of the investment declines to, let's suppose the original value of the investment was how much? It was 6 lakhs. Huh? So let's suppose it declines to 5,50,000. Got it, everyone? Case 2, in case second, we have presumed that the value of investment is declining this time. So this time the general entry will be, see, always remember that since we will be compensating the loss out of the reserve, so every time IFR will be debited. Investment fluctuation reserve will always be debited while passing any general entry. In any case, investment fluctuation reserve always be debited. Investment fluctuation reserve account will be debited. Okay, and it will be debited by the complete amount, 6 lakhs, always. And now, see, just tell me whether this time we have a loss in the value of the investment, yes or no? The original value of the investment was how much? 6 lakh, na? 6 lakh was the original value, and the market value is currently 5,50,000. So tell me, what is the value of the loss in the value of the investment? By what amount the investment declined?
50,000.
50,000.
Okay, correct. That is right. And since there is a decline in the value of the investment, so we are going to credit the investment account. So I'll write down to investment account will be credited to investment account 50,000. Okay, so that simply means, everyone, we have made a reserve of how much? We have made a reserve of 2 lakh, that we have anticipated that the value of the investment may decline by 2 lakh, but it only declined by 50,000, right? If the value of the investment declined to 5,50,000, that means there is a loss of 50,000 only. Then tell me to what extent the reserve will be used to compensate the loss. To what extent we will be using the reserve to compensate the loss? To the extent of 50,000 only. Is that right? Everyone, we have
Yes.
a reserve of 2 lakh, na? And since there is a loss of 50,000 only, so we will be using the reserve to the extent of 50,000 only. That means the remaining 1,50,000, what are we going to deal with the, what are we going to do with the 1,50,000 of amount? Tell me, how are we going to deal with this 1,50,000? Since this is the remaining amount of reserve, na? This is the remaining amount of reserve. Even after adjusting toward the loss in the value of the investment. Anyone, please tell me, what are we going to do with this remaining amount of reserve?
Share it to the partners.
Correct. Share it. Partners will be sharing it among the partner will be sharing the old PSR. So we'll be doing A's capital account will be credited. A's capital account to B's capital. Right? Is it clear, all of you? And since they are both equal partner, na, so 75,000 will be credited to A's capital account and 75,000 will also be credited to B's capital account. And the narration will be for this purpose will be being IFR, investment fluctuation reserve, adjusted and distributed. Adjusted means adjusted toward the loss in the value of the investment, and the remaining is distributed among the partners. Distributed among partners. Tell me if anything is not clear. Tell me, is this case clear to all of you? Case B, where the investment declined.
Yes.
Okay. You all of you are writing it now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now let's continue with case number 3. Situation 3 could be situation third could be there is a decline in the value of the investment, more than the amount of the reserve. Let's suppose market value of the investment is 2,80,000. Okay. So earlier the original value of the investment was 5 lakh, but due to the fluctuation in the market, the value of the investment only remained 2,80,000. So tell me whether there is a profit or a loss. It is a situation of profit or a loss for the firm. Tell me everyone quickly. Whether it is a situation of profit for the firm or a loss. Someone is trying to say something, but I'm not able to hear you. Aman, Halima, Sania, please confirm whether it is a situation of profit for the firm or a loss.
It is more, so it's profit.
It is profit, okay.
Um,
Okay. Or anyone else? Aman?
Loss, sir.
Loss. Halima?
Loss.
Loss. Yes, correct. This is a loss. See, how do you determine whether this is a whether there is a profit or a loss? We determine it by comparing the value of the investment, book value of the investment, and the market value of the investment. So the market value of the investment only remained 2,80,000, right? And the book value of the investment was how much? See, the book value of the investment was 6 lakh. Is that correct? And the book value of the investment, which was once 6 lakh, now stands at only 2,80,000. So do you think there is a profit? No, this is a situation of loss. Is that clear, Sania?
yes, sir.
Okay. So anyone please tell me how much is the loss in this situation? Of what amount is the loss here?
3,20,000.
Correct. 3,20,000 or two.
Two lakh 20,000.
Yeah, 2,20,000 is the amount of loss. 2,20,000 is the amount of loss. Now tell me, we were already prepared about the loss, now. See, the value of the investment was 5 lakh original value. We have market value of the investment only remained 2,80,000. That means we have a loss of 2,20,000. We already anticipated that there could be a loss in the future as well, and for that purpose we already made a reserve. But the loss is more than our anticipation. We anticipated that loss will only be for rupees 2 lakh only, but the loss actually exceed than our expectation, right? Is that clear? Loss is actually 2,20,000, and the amount of reserve that we have made is of rupees 2 lakh. So anyone please confirm, please tell me to what extent we will be able to cover the loss out of the reserve. To what extent we will be able to, sorry?
2 lakh only.
2 lakh only, correct. Now the question arises, since we have only made a reserve of 2 lakh, that means we will be able to cover the loss to the extent of 2 lakh only. Then what will happen to the remaining 20,000 of loss? Who is going to bear this loss?
The partners.
Correct. The partners is going to bear this loss. Remaining loss will be borne by the partner. And what amount they will be bearing? They will be bearing 20,000. In what ratio they will be bearing this loss? In the old ratio, in the equal ratio, right? So
Yes,
in this situation, the general entry will be, let me show you the general entry, but first of all, let's write this down. Let me write it properly, and I want you to note all these different cases, because the next question that I'll be giving you, it will be pretty similar to this case, all the cases that we are doing. So first of all, before passing the general entry, let's write down. Book value of the investment was 5 lakh. It was 6 lakh. Okay. The loss. The book value was 6 lakh. Okay. And the market value of the investment. Market value of the investment is 2,80,000. So that means we have a situation of loss of rupees. How much? It is 2,20,000. And since we have a loss, so we will be compensating it through reserve, adjusted out of reserve. IFR will be covering this loss, but to the extent of 2 lakh only, right? So the remaining amount of loss will be taken over by the partners in the old PSL. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. So how are we going to pass the general entry? Now, pay attention, try to understand. The first thing, the general entry will be, first of all, as usual, we will be debiting the IFR account, investment fluctuation reserve account, investment fluctuation reserve account debit. Right, everyone, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
It will be debited by 2 lakh. Okay, and since we have a loss now, that means the value of the investment is declining, and the value of investment is declining by what amount? Investment is declining by 2,20,000. So we will be crediting the investment account to investment account. Investment account will be credited by 2,20,000. Got it, everyone? Is this clear?
Yes.
Now the thing is that there is a difference between the debit value and the credit value. In the debit we have only 2 lakh, and in the credits part we have 2,20,000. So the difference will be settled by opening a different account, which is called the revaluation account. The loss will be transferred to the revaluation account. Listen to me very, very carefully. Investment fluctuation reserve account will be debited by 2 lakh. Since we have only reserve of 2 lakh, the amount is available. The 2 lakh is only available in the investment fluctuation reserve. Therefore, we will be debiting 2 lakh by the name of investment fluctuation reserve account. And there is a loss of 2,20,000 in the value of the investment. So we have credited the value of investment by 2,20,000. The thing is that the remaining loss will be settled out of revaluation account. So we'll be writing revaluation account debit. The revaluation account will be, revaluation account is just like the profit and loss account. So whenever there is a loss, we will be debiting the revaluation account, and whenever there is a profit, we will be crediting the revaluation account. As simple as that. So 20,000 will be transferred to the revaluation account. This indicates the excess amount of loss is transferred to the revaluation account. Got it, everyone? This general entry is clear. See,
Yes,
this
sir.
case is not yet completed. We will be doing one more entry. But tell me, is it clear to this extent? This case is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Here.
So we will write down being IFR adjusted towards loss of investment. Okay, now let's talk about, so what will happen to the revaluation account? Ultimately, revaluation account is indicating the loss, excess amount of loss that couldn't be settled out of the investment fluctuation reserve. So who is going to bear this loss? We already know the answer. Partners is going to bear this loss. So this means the entire 20,000 will be debited to the partners capital account. So this time we will be debiting partners capital account. We'll be writing A's capital account will be debit. A's capital account will be debited. A's capital account debit. B's capital account will also be debited. To, tell me, to revaluation account. To revalue. This entire loss is being transferred to the partner's capital account. 20,000 is being transferred to the partner's capital account. And since they are the equal partner, na, so they will be bearing the losses equally, 10,000 and 10,000 by both the partners. And the narration will be being, we'll write down being loss distributed among partners. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Yes or no? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir.
So this could be the third possible situation. Now we have covered three situations. There is one more possibility, that we have covered a situation where the market value of the investment remains same, right? We covered a situation where the market value of the investment declined, but not more than the value of the reserve. It is less than the value of the reserve. Then we have assumed a different situation wherein the investment is declining more than the amount of reserve that we have made. In such a situation, we had to open a one more account, which is called the revaluation account, for the purpose of indicating the loss. Now there could be one more possible situation wherein instead of decline in the value of the investment, what if the value of the investment, instead of declining, it may rise, right? So case number D, please write it down. Case D. Case D could be market value of investment is increasing. Market value of investment is actually, let's suppose it is 6,80,000. Tell me, everyone, is the case is clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The situation is that the value of the investment, instead of declining, it increases over the period of time. That may also happen. So now if the market value of the investment, instead of declining or instead of remaining same, what if it rises? If it rises, if the value of the investment increases as compared to the book value, so shall we consider this situation a situation of profit? Is it a situation of profit or not? And also tell me, what is the amount of profit in this stage, in this case, Halima and Aman? If the original value of the investment was 6 lakh and the market value of the investment is 6,80,000, that means there is a profit of how much? 80,000. Extra 80,000 we have generated because of the increase in the value of the investment. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell me, if there is a profit, what partners are going to do with this profit? Whether they will be sharing it among themselves, yes or no?
Yes.
In what ratio they will be sharing it?
Old.
Equal.
In the old ratio, right? Number one. Number two, the question arises, since the original value was 6 lakh and the market value of the investment is 6,80,000, so we have made a profit of 80,000. So what I'm telling you is that we need to distribute this profit, since this have occurred because of the increase in the value of the investment. Now apart from this profit, we also have a reserve standing in our books of account. The reserves are still there, na? Investment fluctuation reserve will still be there. Investment fluctuation is unused, since we do not have the loss this time. Instead of loss, we have the profit. So investment fluctuation reserve of rupees 2 lakh will remain unused. Yes or no? The question arises, if the investment fluctuation reserve is not utilized, it is not adjusted toward the loss, so that simply means that we need to divide this reserve as well. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this simply means that in this scenario, we need to pass two entries. firstly to distribute this profit, the profit of 80,000, and then the other entry to distribute the reserves that is still is still showing in the books of account because it is not allocated toward the absorption of the loss of the investment. So the general entry in this situation will be, first general entry that I'll be doing is, as usual, first of all, the investment fluctuation reserve needed to be distributed among the partner na. So I'll write down investment fluctuation reserve account debit 2. Investment fluctuation reserve account debit 2. The value of investment will be 2 lakh, and since this entire 2 lakh is completely unused, it is since there is no loss, so the entire amount of reserve is still there in the books of account and need not to be adjusted towards the loss in the investment. So that simply means that we will be distributing it among the partners. The old PSR, that means A is going to get 1 lakh since both are equal partners. So A will be getting 1 lakh and B will also get 1 lakh. So both the capital account of both the partners will be credited. Tell me if this entry is clear or not.
Yes, sir.
So this will be the narration will be IFR distributed among partners. Got it, everyone? Is this clear? Yes or no? Moving on to the next part of the question. Since we have a profit this time, right? We have a profit of how much? We have a profit of, tell me, 80,000, right? So this means that revaluation account just a minute, I think okay. So we have a profit this time, so we can distribute the profit among the partners now. So profit will be distributed by passing this general entry. A's capital account will be credited, B's capital account will be credited to, tell me, no, it will be credited to revaluation account. Yes or no, everyone? Revaluation account will be debited by 80,000 and 40,000 will be distributed to A's capital account, credited to A's capital account, and 40,000 will be credited to B's capital account, being profits in investment distributed. Tell me if it is clear or not, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Here.
Okay. So these are possible situations in respect of the investment fluctuation reserve. Okay. Sometimes question is completely silent about the value of the investment. Question tells you that there is no information regarding the market value of the investment. Only the book value of the investment is given. Investment fluctuation reserve will be there, but there will be no market value of the investment. If the market value of the investment is not given in the question, then in such a situation, we will be distributing the entire investment fluctuation reserve among the partners in the old PSR. Got it, everyone? The treatment will be similar to the first situation. If the market value is equal to the book value of the investment, if the market value of the investment is equal to the book value of the investment, then we pass the general entry. The entire investment fluctuation reserve is distributed among the partner in the old PSR. Similarly, if in any question the market value is not at all given, not equal, not more than, not less, nothing is given in the question, that then in such a situation also we will be distributing the entire amount of investment fluctuation reserve in the among the partners in the old PSR. That means the treatment will be same as the case first. Got it? Is it clear, all of you, Halima, Aman, and Sania?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's come to the PowerPoint. So PowerPoint is saying, first of all, the first thing that is written here is the definition of the investment fluctuation reserve. Let's just read it once. It is saying that the investment fluctuation reserve is a reserve which is created out of the profit to meet the fall in the market value of the investment. It is created to adjust the difference between the book value and the market value of the investment, right? And it is also written there that the excess of the IFR over the difference between the book value and the market value is credited to the old partner. That means if there is excess in the value in the market value as compared to the book value, then the excess amount will be credited to the old partners in the old profit sharing ratio. I hope this is clear. This is the entire definition is clear to all of you. Tell me so that I can proceed to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Now moving on to question number 79. Question 79 is saying that there are three partners, A, B, and C, who are presently sharing the profit and losses in the ratio of 5:3:2. They have decided to share the profits and losses in future in the ratio of 2:3:5. We need to give the general entry considering that the investment fluctuation reserve stands at 20,000. Okay, the value of the investment fluctuation reserve is 20,000. And at the time of change in the PSR, when investment market value is 95,000, appears in the book at rupees 1 lakh. So question is telling us that the investment fluctuation reserve is for rupees 20,000. Book value of the investment is rupees, tell me what it is. It is 95,000 or 1 lakh. What is the book value of the investment? Tell me quickly now, everyone. Aman, Halima. 1 lakh, correct. 1 lakh is the book value of the investment, and the current market value of the investment is 95,000 only. So tell me, is this a situation of profit or loss? So if the value of investment declined from 1 lakh to 95,000, that simply means the firm is having a profit or loss.
Loss.
Loss of how much? Guys, please tell me. 95,000 of loss. No.
No, sir.
Book value is 1 lakh, na, and the market value is 95,000. That means we have a loss of only 5,000. Na? Correct. And tell me, do we have sufficient amount of reserves available to compensate this loss, to absorb this much of loss? Yes or no? Do we have the sufficient amount available, sufficient fund available?
Yes.
Yes, we have the amount available by the name of investment fluctuation reserve, 20,000, which is capable to absorb the loss to the extent of 20,000. But by chance we have a loss of only 5,000 in this case. So that means out of 20,000, 5,000 will be adjusted toward the loss of investment. Now tell me what we will be doing with the remaining 15,000 of reserve. What are we going to do with the remaining 15,000 of reserve? Out of 20,000, we have adjusted 5,000 toward the loss in the value of the investment. It's still 15,000 is left, na? So how are we going to deal with the remaining 15,000?
Share it among the partners.
Share it among the partners in the old PSR. Correct. So tell me, guys, whether you will be able to solve this question, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm giving you this question as your homework. We whatever the cases that we have covered in the I just discussed four cases with you. If you have understood those cases properly, I'm sure that you will be able to easily solve this question. Okay. Apart from question number 79, I'll be giving you one more question. But first of all, take the screenshot of this question number 79. And after 79, question number 80 is also your homework. See, question 80 is saying that earlier the partners were sharing the profit and losses in the ratio of 1:1. They are equal partners. Now they have decided to share the profits in the ratio of 2:1. Right, everyone? Value of the investment is given to us 4 lakh at cost. That means the book value of the investment is 4 lakh. Investment fluctuation reserve that is being shown in the balance sheet is 60,000, right? And we have these all 5 scenarios. First is the market value is not given. Market value is given as 4 lakh. Market value of the investment is 4,24,000. Market value of investment declined to 3,70,000. Then market value of the investment is 3,10,000. Tell me whether you will be able to solve this question, yes or no. This is almost similar to the cases that I have just covered.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just tell me how are we going to deal with case number 1 when the market value is not given? Then how are we going to deal with the fluctuation reserve?
The whole reserve will be divided among the partners.
Perfect, correct. And in situation 2, we will be doing the same thing now, since the market value and the book value is both same. So we will be doing the same thing in the case number 2 as well. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And in case 3, this time we have a increase in the value of the investment, 4,24,000. So the whatever the increase that is taking place, we will be distributing such profit among the partners up, and apart from this profit, we will also be distributing the investment fluctuation reserve among the partners as well, right now. So I'm sure that you guys will be able to solve all these cases. So I'm giving you question number 80 for your homework as well, and make sure you complete all these cases, and make sure that you complete all the cases in question number 80 and also complete question number 71. And one more question I have, but I'll discuss this question in the next class, question number 81. And after discussing this, we will be starting a new topic which is called treatment of goodwill. All right, treatment of goodwill. See, I have told you that while doing whenever the reconstitution takes place on account of change in PSR, I've told you that we need to make the adjustment regarding the calculation of the gaining and sacrifice. We need to treat the goodwill as well. We need to treat the profit reserve and losses. So we have covered this case. We already covered this case. We have covered this case second. We need to cover 2 more things in this chapter, which is the treatment of the goodwill in a situation of the change in PSR, and we will also be covering the treatment of or the formation of the revaluation account in next class. Okay. So
Okay,
I hope everything that we discussed is clear to all of you. Today we were talking about the investment fluctuation reserve. We understood the concept, we did few cases, and I've given you 2 questions for your homework. In the next class, in tomorrow's class, we will be talking about the treatment of the goodwill. So this is it, all of you. Thank you so much. See you
thank you,
tomorrow
sir.
at the same time. Till then, take care. Goodbye.
Okay, sir.